Welcome back to D&D World Weavers, everyone. Before we plunge headfirst into the, well, frankly, terrifying and fog-drenched domain of Kartakass today, I have to share this story.
Oh boy. Does it involve dice absolutely betraying someone at the worst possible moment?
Doesn't it always? So, picture this. New campaign, we just managed to grab this huge, ancient, really ornate skull artifact from this ruin that was literally collapsing around us.
High stakes. Nice.
Took us like 20 minutes, seriously, arguing about the safest way to get this thing out of the desert. Finally, we decided, okay, let's tie it to Thunderhoof. That's the ranger's horse. Sturdy, reliable Thunderhoof.
Thunderhoof. Okay, I sense impending doom for Thunderhoof, or at least for the skull.
You are not wrong. So we secure it, we're riding out, feeling pretty good about ourselves. Then we come to this tiny stream, like maybe 4 feet wide, completely harmless looking.
Uh-oh.
The ranger, full of confidence, goes, it's fine, he's crossed way deeper stuff. Rolls the dice for just, crossing the stream.
Please tell me it was a 1.
Not just a 1, it was a fumble. The dice decided Thunderhoof stops dead, looks down at this pathetic little trickle of water, and starts drinking. Like aggressively drinking, splashing water everywhere. And while he's doing this, he gives his head this violent shake.
Oh no, don't tell me.
The artifact, the skull we spent 3 sessions getting, slips the ropes, bounces once off a rock, and plops right into the stream. Gone. Swept away by 4 feet of creek water.
Oh, that's just painful. Hilarious, but painful. The universe just said, nope, not for you.
Exactly. And that kind of chaos, that feeling where the world itself seems to be mocking your best efforts, that is pure Ravenloft energy.
It really is, except in Ravenloft, it's usually not random chance. It's baked into the very fabric of the place by the dark powers.
Which brings us perfectly to what we're exploring today, the classic 1990 TSR module, Feast of Goblyns, RA1.
Right. This was a huge deal for TSR back then. They were really pushing to expand their IPs, especially using horror to bring in maybe a different crowd, a new generation of D&D players.
And this module, it hits right in the middle of probably the biggest metaplot event in Ravenloft's history, the Grand Conjunction, or, as some call it, the Great Upheaval.
Yeah, this is the event that literally shattered the core setting and reformed it. It was all tied to this ancient prophecy by a figure known as the Ducker Hiskosa.
These Ducker were like seers in the land of mists, right? Their words are basically cosmic law.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And the module even kicks off by quoting the very first line of Hiskosa's prophecy. In the house of Daegon the sorcerer born, though life, unlife, unliving shall scorn.
Chills. Sets the stage perfectly for some seriously high-stakes, creepy dungeons, and some really messed-up characters that honestly changed Ravenloft forever.
So, our mission today for you listening is to walk you through this tangled web of betrayal and spooky forests. We want to show you why this old module still casts such a long shadow on Ravenloft today. Okay, let's start with the big one, the Grand Conjunction. You really can't talk about Ravenloft history without talking about this. It's probably the most famous, definitely the most impactful event the Land of Mists ever went through.
It literally broke the demiplane.
Yeah.
Shook everything up.
Fundamentally. And, when you boil it right down, the whole thing started because one extremely powerful Dark Lord basically threw an epic cosmic tantrum.
Because he hated his neighbor.
That's surprisingly accurate, yeah. The main architect was Aslan Rex, the Lich King Dark Lord of Darkon.
Okay.
He had 2 main goals. First, escape Darkon. He hated being trapped there. Second, and this was almost as important to him, destroy Strahd von Zarovich.
The classic rivalry. Why Strahd, though? Why was he the target?
Aslan saw Strahd as this pathetic, predictable creature of passion. A failure, really. And more importantly, he believed Strahd was the linchpin, holding the whole demiplane together.
So his logic was, destroy Strahd, the whole thing collapses, and maybe he can finally get out?
Exactly. It wasn't just strategy. It was cosmic-level spite.
Yeah.
And you know what? For a short, terrifying time, it actually worked.
Seriously?
Yeah. The chaos ripped the demiplane open, the mists tore apart, dark lords, monsters, all sorts of evil started spilling out into the prime material plane, like into regular D&D worlds.
Whoa. So Ravenloft almost became everyone's problem.
For a moment, yes. But Aslan, for a super genius lich, he made a critical mistake.
He always seems to, doesn't he? What was it this time? Blowing up reality seems like a pretty big gamble already.
Well, see, he was relying on Hiskosa's prophecy, the Hexad. But the prophecy had to be fulfilled in a very specific order. Aslan got impatient, his minions messed up the sequence, fulfilled the last two parts out of order.
Swap the order, and that undid everything.
Pretty much. Yeah. The whole conjunction just collapsed in on itself. Everything snapped back into the demiplane.
But it didn't just reset, right? Things were different afterwards.
Oh, completely different. The damage was done. The geography, the politics, everything was scrambled, creating this new, arguably even more terrifying status quo. The dark powers basically reshuffled the deck.
So these shockwaves weren't just random map changes. They were setting up new conflicts, new rivalries.
Absolutely. Think about the geography. Some domains just got twisted. Like Valachan, it rotated 90 degrees. Suddenly it had a coastline on the Sea of Sorrows. Imagine that overnight change.
That's wild. Changes trade, defense, everything.
Then you had domains just absorbed. Arak got swallowed by Darkon. Arkandale vanished into Verbrek. But the really juicy one was Dorvinia merging into Borka.
Creating the co-Dark Lords, Ivana Baritsi and Ivan Deliznia.
Exactly. Suddenly, these two were sharing a domain. Instant, bitter enemies, forced into close proximity. Classic Dark Powers move.
And the biggest political shift, the one that echoes through later Ravenloft stuff, was Gundarak just ceasing to exist.
Right. Gobbled up by Barovia and Nvidia. This is huge because it directly leads to Strahd annexing Gundarak later on, massively boosting his power and territory. Sets up all sorts of future clashes.
Meanwhile, other domains got thrown out completely, right? Became islands of terror.
Yep. Bluidspur, Gehenna, the Nightmare Lands flung out into the mists. And where Gehenna and Markovia used to be, poof, the Shadow Rift appeared. Just this gaping void of shadow.
And Markovia itself ended up as like a tropical island somewhere.
Rediscovered later, in the Sea of Sorrows. Totally displaced.
The cultural impact must have been immense. People don't just shrug off reality warping around them.
Not at all. You see these massive long-term reactions. Take Tempest, that whole Tempestani Inquisition. That rose directly out of the fear caused by Markovia and Gehenna vanishing and the Shadow Rift appearing.
They needed someone to blame, so they turned on the Fae.
And outsiders in general. It was this massive societal trauma response that became incredibly insular, hostile, shut themselves off because the cosmos felt uncontrollable.
Wow. And did it affect other Dark Lords too? Like Hazlitt?
Oh, big time. Hazlitt and Haslin completely flipped his views on magic. Before the conjunction, he was all isolationist. Afterwards, seeing his old rivals thriving, he realized he needed more power. He starts the Red Academy, embraces magic more openly.
Even religion reacted. You mentioned Sri Raji.
Yeah, and Sri Raji, they interpreted the whole chaos as the rebirth of Kali, led to this huge surge in her worship. It's fascinating how different cultures process the same cosmic event.
So when our players step into Feast of Goblyns, they're basically walking onto ground zero. The world is still shaking.
Exactly. The module happens right in the thick of this instability. It makes the personal schemes of the villains feel even more desperate and significant against this backdrop of universal chaos.
Okay, so the world's been torn apart. Now let's drop our poor players into the heart of it, specifically into Kartakass, Land of Denial, and wolfwares.
Definitely the land of wolfwares. Kartakass is mostly heavily forested foothills, kind of rugged, up against the Balanuk Mountains. It's also full of caves, and intriguingly, the module mentions some connect to Bluidspur.
One of those domains that got yeeted out during the conjunction. Nice little connection there.
Yeah, and the Dark Lord is Harkon Lukas. He's a greater wolfwere, but his curse, it's really unique. It's the core of his whole deal.
He looks the same in all his forms, right? Human, hybrid, wolf, always recognizably Harkon Lukas.
Exactly. Which, for a shapeshifter, is kind of the ultimate irony. His main power transformation can't give him anonymity.
So he can't just blend in. He has to rely on, what? Impersonation, being theatrical.
Precisely. He becomes this master manipulator, a con artist, relying on everyone else's willingness to be deceived, rather than the actual physical disguise. He's always visibly Harkon Lukas.
That's twisted. And his border control reflects that theatricality too, doesn't it? The sweet songs.
Yeah. You get near the border, you hear this beautiful music that just makes you incredibly tired. Keep pushing, you pass out, and poof, you wake up back inside Kartakass. No violence, just musical containment.
Creepy. And the people, the Kartakans,
generally fair-haired, very musical in their speech. Apparently they speak a dialect of Common. But here's the kicker. The place is crawling with wolfwares, and about 80% of them. Raven black hair in human form.
80%? That's a pretty obvious tell, isn't it? Dark hair equals probable monster.
You'd think. But this is where the culture of denial kicks in, and it's profound. This is the real horror of Kartakass.
Okay, unpack that. How does the denial work?
It's this tightrope. We absolutely cannot speak badly about wolves. If you do, you tend to disappear.
Okay, makes sense. Don't insult the boss's favorite animal.
Also can't speak too fondly of them or seem too interested, because that might make people suspect you're one of them. And the wolfwares don't want that kind of attention drawn to themselves either.
Wow, so you just have to pretend wolves aren't really a thing.
Worse, the module says locals actively train themselves to ignore evidence. Like if a wolfwere literally shifted form in the middle of the town square, the Kartakass would just look away, avert their eyes. And by nightfall, they would have genuinely forgotten they ever saw it.
That's terrifying. Collective enforced delusion.
It's way scarier than just being attacked, isn't it? Your whole reality is warped.
Which leads us nicely into how the module actually advises the dungeon master to run this kind of horror. It's not typical hack and slash.
Not at all. This is where Ravenloft really distinguished itself from standard AD&D back then. The module explicitly tells the DM, slow down, focus on description, build dread, make the players feel unwelcome, like outsiders.
Right. Contrast the typical AD&D encounter, which is like roll initiative, roll to hit, roll damage next.
Versus the Ravenloft campaign encounter. Here, maybe the players are sleeping. The DM asks for constitution checks. Someone fails, wakes up, senses heat, sees a faint red glow under the door.
And the DM leans in, starts whispering the description.
Exactly. Draw out the suspense. Maybe the doorknob just slowly turns. Or maybe there's just silence, utter silence. And then, bam! The wall explodes inwards, plaster dust everywhere, stench of decay. Then the attack happens.
Turns a simple fight into a memorable, heart-pounding scene.
Absolutely. And the module also pushes for using non-physical optional encounters. Things to just build dread without constant combat.
Like hearing twigs snap just off the path, or all the forest animals suddenly going dead silent.
Yeah. Or my favorite. Just an unexplainable shudder runs through the party. You ask for a saving throw. They ask, against what? And you just say, you're not sure.
Oh, that's evil. Just pure psychological pressure.
It works. Makes the players paranoid about the environment itself.
So after setting this wonderfully dreadful stage, how does the actual adventure kick off for the players?
Classic Ravenloft style. The module assumes that PCs aren't from Ravenloft. They get lost in the mists.
Cold, isolating, can't see, can't hear, the usual routine.
Yep. And the mists eventually deposit them, inevitably, in a village called Harmonia, which of course isn't on any of their maps.
Harmonia. Sounds nice. Famous for singers, right?
Yeah, it's got the Harmonic Hall, the Crystal Club. Seems pleasant enough on the surface. But the town itself has some unique features.
Like that bridge, the whirling bridge.
Right. This massive tower in the river that literally rotates 90 degrees at night to seal the town off. Controls movement, traps people inside or outside.
And the moat, you mentioned that was important.
Oh, the moat is nasty. 15 feet deep, lined with hidden iron spikes, 2d4 damage if you fall in. Plus it's stagnant and diseased. Fail a save, you catch something awful. Even the local wolfwares avoid it. It's a serious, deadly defense. All right, so the players are trapped in this creepy, denial-fueled town. Now let's talk about the plot itself. Feast of Goblyns is basically this multi-layered conspiracy thriller.
And the players are smack in the middle, being used as pawns by pretty much everyone.
Totally. And the whole thing revolves around this one artifact, the Crown of Souls.
Sounds ominous. What's its story?
Created like 500 years ago by this seriously evil necromancer named Daegon.
Okay.
And he did something clever and horrifying. He infused it with a variant of the magic jar spell.
So he could possess people.
Not quite like the standard spell. It's more like a spiritual battery. His spirit is trapped in the crown. But each time one of his descendants dies, their life force, their spirit, gets sucked into the crown.
And that does what? Strengthens him.
Exactly. Strengthens his will, stabilizes his essence within the crown. His ultimate plan is to escape, but he needs the death of his last living descendant to give him the final power boost needed to reactivate the possession ability.
And that last descendant is Radaga.
Radaga, yes. We'll get more into her later, but the crown itself, it does other things too.
Like creating the goblins. Name of the module, right?
Yep. If a normal human puts it on, it transforms them into these things called the goblins. Bloated heads, glowing red eyes, needle teeth. They become submissive slaves to the crown's will.
And they feast. What's that about?
Their main attack is this horrible bite that latches on, causes suffocation damage, and forces a horror check. But the really nasty part, if you survive being bitten, you take a permanent -1 charisma loss from the sparring and disfigurement.
Ouch. Permanent stat loss is brutal, especially charisma in a social horror setting, it's a visible mark of your trauma.
Exactly. It's not just hit points. It's a lasting consequence. Now, the other thing the crown does, if someone evil willingly puts it on.
Power boost.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Improves armor class by 2, +2 bonus on attack rolls, damage rolls, saving throws, gives 20 extra hit points, and they effectively act as if they're 2 levels higher. It's seriously tempting for a bad guy.
Okay, so Daegon wants out, needs Radaga dead. But there's a catch, right? The dark powers always have a catch.
Always. To stop Daegon from just winning immediately, they cursed Radaga with a form of temporary immortality if she's killed.
She just comes back.
She rises again, but as a white. Specifically, a really ugly white. This traps her life force, prevents it from going into the crown and empowering Daegon. It just delays the inevitable.
Agonizing for everyone involved, but there's another catch, isn't there, about killing the white form?
The killer caveat. If Radaga's white form is destroyed, and someone who is not wearing the Crown of Souls is present when it happens,
then Daegon can escape.
In that split second, his spirit can surge out and possess her undead white body. Boom. He's back. The entire climax hinges on who deals the killing blow and whether they're wearing that crown.
Man, that's complicated. And the PCs are caught between who? Who are the main players trying to manipulate them?
It's this dark triad plus Radaga herself. First, you've got Akriel Lukas.
Harkon's daughter. The wolfwere.
Yep. High charisma. She's a bard. She can even sing this magical slow effect. And she's secretly plotting to overthrow dear old dad.
How does she rope the players in?
Classic damsel in distress routine. They find her seemingly beaten up in an alley. She plays the victim card perfectly, trying to get them to help her with her plan. But there's a hidden note nearby that reveals she intends to use the crown for her own evil purposes.
Okay, manipulator number 1. Who's next?
Dr. Dominiani. He's technically a vassal of Duke Gundar from the now-gone domain of Gundarak. He's a vampire, but a very unusual one.
How so?
Super intelligent, first off, like End 18. He's also partially immune to sunlight, can stand it for 1 round before taking damage, and garlic doesn't bother him at all. He even uses garlic to throw people off.
Clever. What's his dark secret, besides being a vampire?
His feeding method. It's horrific. He doesn't just drink blood, he consumes cerebral fluid.
Ugh, what does that do?
Causes 106 points of intelligence drain per feeding. Leads to eventual madness and complete mindlessness in his victims. He's also playing Akriel, pretending to help her while planning to betray her once they've dealt with Harkon and Radaga.
A cerebral vampire. That's nasty. Okay, that's 2. Who's the third part of this triad? Or is it just Radaga?
Radaga is the third major antagonist, yes. The cursed priestess, last descendant of Daegon.
Why is she cursed? What's her deal?
Vanity. She made a pact with the dark powers to maintain her beauty, but the price is she has to ritually steal beauty from other women, basically murdering them. She commands undead, has custom spells, but she dreads being killed and turning into that ugly white.
Because that's the sign of her ultimate failure and Daegon's potential victory.
Exactly. And if she does become the white and things go her way, her transformation actually triggers the formation of a whole new domain, Daegon, popping up next to Bluetspur and Sithicus. She's a huge potential threat.
So the whole adventure is basically these 3, and Harkon, lurking, trying to trick the PCs into moving the crown around for them.
Pretty much. It's a masterclass in making the players feel like unwitting delivery drivers in a cosmic horror plot.
How does the actual con play out?
Okay, so Akriel first convinces the PCs to take the Crown of Souls to Dominiani's keep over in Gundarak. They think they're helping her.
Step 1.
Then Dominiani, the grateful recipient, sends them back to Akriel with a bag of platinum and this flowery love letter.
But it's fake, right?
It's layered. The visible message is thanks. But hidden within it, written in moonwriting, only readable by moonlight or read magic, is his real plan. Marry Akriel, then use their combined power to conquer both Kartakass and Gundarak.
Devious. So the players are meant to find this hidden message and feel clever.
Exactly. But just as they're heading back, feeling like they've cracked the code, Harkon Lukas intercepts them.
Ah, the original Dark Lord steps in.
But he's impersonating Akriel. Uses his shape-shifting mimicry. He reveals Dominiani's treachery, tells them he's a vampire, and convinces them they need to steal the crown back from Dominiani and bring it to him, as Akriel. All with fake promises of sending them home.
So they're just ping-ponging between these monsters, constantly being lied to. How do you even run that as a DM without the players just giving up or feeling completely railroaded?
You have to lean into the paranoia. Make every piece of information they uncover feel like a victory, but one that immediately leads to a worse complication. Reward their cleverness, yes, but use that reward to show them an even deeper layer of deception.
Until they finally realize
that none of these people can be trusted. That the only way to actually solve the problem, to destroy the crown for good, is to confront Radaga herself, likely after she's become the White, which forces them towards the most dangerous locations in the module.
Okay, let's talk about those locations. Where do the players actually go during all this back-and-forth betrayal? Starting with Harkon's turf, the old Kartakass Inn.
Oh, the inn is fantastic. Pure gothic atmosphere. It's located in this place called Stalled, specifically on a natural stone island in the middle of the cauldron.
The cauldron.
Yeah, where these two huge waterfalls just roar down constantly. It creates this perpetual mist, muffles all sound. It's the perfect hunting ground for Harkon. Screams just get lost in the noise.
Brilliant design. Safe by day, deadly by night.
That's the rep. Fine dining during the day, but at night, people disappear. Locals blame spirits of the cauldron. The staff, of course, is completely compromised.
Who's on staff? More wolfwere.
Oh, yeah. The chef, Heinstock, wolfwere. The main waitress, Coraline. She's a werefox and a wizard. Uses spells like Charm Person and forget to manage the guests.
A werefox wizard waitress. Okay. Harkon's security must be intense.
Paranoid. There's a hidden assassination list. The PC's names get added pretty quick. There's even a special chess set where capturing pieces summons monsters.
Seriously, a monster summoning chess set?
Yep. And the guest rooms. Harkon had secret panels and closets built into them. Lets the wolfwares literally burst through the walls to attack sleeping guests. Nowhere is safe.
That's terrifying. Zero security. And wasn't there something about a drink? Me cool. Something.
Rico Brau, yes. This bitter drink, apparently prized by singers in Kartakass. The crucial detail, it stains your mouth, lips, teeth, everything, this really vivid blood-red color for about an hour.
So the wolfwares can just blame the blood around their mouths on the drink they just had?
Bingo. It's this perfectly mundane cultural detail that provides perfect cover for their feeding. Genius, isn't it? How do you even handle that as a DM? Do players catch on?
You play it straight. It's just a local custom. Singers drink it for their voices. But every time the players see someone with those red-stained lips, especially after someone goes missing, the paranoia just builds. Is it the drink, or did they just eat the bard in room 3?
Love it. Okay, from the Misty Inn, where do they go next? Dominiani's Keep in Gundarak.
Right. And the mood shift is immediate. The journey there might be okay, but as soon as you approach the keep, the weather turns foul. Classic Dark Lord lair warning sign.
How's it defended?
8 gargoyles perched on the walls, and zombie guards. But not just regular zombies. These ones are coated in oil of timelessness. Oil of timelessness. Why that specific obscure magic item?
It shows Dominiani's meticulous nature. The oil perfectly preserves the zombies. They don't decay. They look unnervingly pristine, almost lifelike, but obviously dead. It speaks to his cold, calculating intelligence. Not just crude undead, but preserved, perfect undead.
Creepy. And he has weird communication methods too, right? The fountain.
Yeah, the courtyard fountain's got these marble wolves, pour blood into their mouth.
Of course you do.
And it activates this telepathic link to Akriel, but only when a beam of moonlight hits a specific stained glass window just right. It's so needlessly complex and theatrical.
Very vampire. What about inside? What's the most chilling part of his keep?
Gotta be the park.
Huh.
Area 28 in the module. It's basically his open-air asylum. He keeps his victims there. 76 people whose minds he's drained, feeding on their cerebral fluid. They're just mindless husks wandering the garden.
76. And how do you cure them?
Magic healing. But it takes 1 Cure Light wound spell to restore 1 point of lost intelligence. 76 victims. That's an astronomical amount of healing needed. It just shows the scale of his cruelty.
And he has guards there, too. Still functioning ones.
Yep, 7 more of those oil-coated zombies, plus 6 fighters and thieves he's charmed. They patrol the perimeter. Victims kept just lucid enough to be guards.
And his personal chambers. Full of tricks, too, I bet.
Absolutely. He's got this magic sword, +1, but +3 against lycanthropes and shapeshifters. Sounds great, right?
Yeah.
But it's specifically designed to only hit major arteries. Useless against vampires who don't have functioning circulatory systems like that. He probably uses it in fake duels to prove he's not a vampire.
Wow. And his library? Full of lies.
Packed with knowledge, but any book about vampires.
Yeah.
Deliberately filled with misinformation. Says things like throwing grave dirt works or cold iron harms them. All lies to protect himself.
He's layers upon layers of deception. Okay, so after dealing with the Harkon and Dominiani's traps, the party finally heads for Radaga, her canyon and catacombs.
Right. And the approach is immediately hostile. There's this booming drum sound.
Oh, warming.
From a crickwood, a sentient spy tree at the canyon entrance, alerting her. Then you get into her defenses. The broken ones, just skeletons impaled on stakes lining the path. Gruesome.
And wasn't there a catapult made of ribs?
A massive rib cage, yeah. Filled with the remains of past victims and 2 juju zombies. It acts as a catapult, launching nets to capture intruders.
Getting caught in that sounds like a nightmare. What happens then?
The goblins swarm out, stake you to the ground, and just leave you there. Guarded, but left to weaken from hunger and thirst until you're easy prey for Radaga's rituals. The despair is a weapon, too.
Jeez. And the cursed woodsman, that sounds particularly messed up.
Oh, it's brilliant psychological horror.
Yeah.
You find this skeleton hanging from a stake. If you touch the body, you have to save versus spells.
Or what?
Or you gain the charisma score of the woodsman's dead wife in 18. Suddenly you're stunningly beautiful or handsome.
Okay, what's the catch? There's always a catch.
The curse was meant for Radaga. You also get crippling sensitivity to sunlight and this intense aversion to normal food. You have to eat rare meat.
So you become beautiful, but you're afraid of the sun and crave bloody meat. You think you're turning into a vampire.
Exactly, even though you're not. It's pure paranoia fuel directed at the player character themselves.
Ooh.
Genius.
And then the final area, the catacombs themselves, the cavern of the undead priestess.
Yeah, this place is magically hostile. Just entering requires a save versus magic.
And if you fail...
Drawing your weapon becomes difficult, like it's stuck.
Yeah.
If you're a caster, you need to make a wisdom or intelligence check every time you cast a spell. Fail, and the spell just fizzles.
Wow. The dungeon itself is actively nerfing the party. That's hardcore, old-school Ravenloft difficulty right there. All right, after navigating all that deception, paranoia, and hostile terrain, the party finally makes it to the climax, the village of Homlock, Radaga's last stand.
And Homlock itself is deeply unsettling. The module says it was literally ripped out of the past by the mists. It feels wrong, displaced.
And as they approach, Daglan's domain is actually starting to form around it.
Yeah, the barriers are shifting. The village is surrounded by this wall, 10 skeletons deep, just standing there, eyes glowing red. There's a dark, swirling vortex in the sky. Absolute silence, except for this overwhelming sense of evil.
No pressure then. Where's the final fight?
In the village church. That's Radaga's stronghold. And it's trapped, naturally.
Poisoned door handles. Zombies hiding in junk piles.
You know it. Plus, she's got her best minions with her. A doppelganger, a half-white, and Radaga herself. She's mounted on a 15-foot-tall giant skeleton.
That's an entrance. How does she fight?
Cautiously at first, trying to get the crown back. But she'll fight to the bitter end, using spells like Sanctuary to protect herself, Withdraw to escape, Animate Dead to raise more minions. It's designed to be a really tough, chaotic battle.
And there's a time limit too, right, if she dies?
The whole church starts collapsing. They have 6 rounds to finish any remaining enemies, figure out the crown situation, and get out before they're buried. High-stakes finale.
But the outcome, it's not just about winning the fight, is it? It depends entirely on how Radaga is defeated and who does it. There are multiple endings.
3 main possibilities, yeah. And only one is a clear win.
Okay, what's the heroic ending, the one the players are aiming for?
If and only if the character wearing the Crown of Souls deals the final blow to Radaga in her white form.
Specific.
Very. If that happens, the trapped elf spirit inside the crown, a detail we didn't focus on but part of Daglan's victims, is released. The crown crumbles to dust, the forming domain collapses, and the PCs just wake up, back in their home world. No time lost, perfect victory.
It's incredibly hard to achieve deliberately. What if someone else kills her? Someone not wearing the crown?
That's the tragedy ending. The triumph of Daglan. If the white is killed by someone not wearing the crown, Daglan's evil spirit escapes in that instant and possesses Radaga's white body.
Oh no. So the big bad actually wins.
He gets out. He gloats, reveals his power. The players essentially failed. But then there's a small twist.
What is it?
The crown itself, holding the spirits of his other victims, somehow acts against him. It interrupts whatever final spell he's casting on the party, sacrifices itself, and sends the PCs tumbling back to their homeland. Again, no time lost. They're saved, but they unleash the ancient evil.
A Pyrrhic victory at best. More like a noble failure saving their skins. Yeah. And the third ending.
The classic Ravenloft ending. The PCs destroy Radaga. Maybe they even destroy the crown, but they're just transported somewhere else within the demiplane of dread. Trapped, ready for the next nightmare. Welcome to Ravenloft. Enjoy your stay. Man, This module really laid the groundwork for so much of what we think of as Ravenloft, didn't it? Even looking at 5th edition now.
Absolutely foundational. The core themes are all here. The deep betrayal, the feeling that victory is almost impossible, the mists manipulating everything, the complex, cursed nature of Dark Lords like Harkon and Dominiani. These ideas run straight through to modern Ravenloft.
And even some of the mechanics, right? You mentioned that old NPC dominance rule.
Yeah.
How does that translate?
Yeah, that 2E rule was clunky. If you kept failing attacks against a Dark Lord, you got penalties on future rolls. If they hit you, they got bonuses. It made them feel overwhelming.
It made you feel hopeless, basically.
Exactly. And while 5E doesn't use those fiddly penalties, things like legendary actions and lair effects capture the exact same feeling.
How so? The Dark Lord isn't just one monster acting on its turn. It acts multiple times. The environment actively attacks the players or helps the villain. It creates that same sense of oppression, that feeling that the land itself is fighting you, which is core Ravenloft.
That makes sense. It's the psychological effect, recreated differently. And the monsters. Could a modern DM easily use wolfwares or goblins?
So definitely. Wolfwares are fantastic shape-shifting horrors with high charisma, masters of deception. Way more interesting than standard werewolves sometimes.
And the goblins, those face-biting things.
Yeah. Corrupted humans of the charisma drain.
Yeah.
They offer really unique kind of body horror and lasting consequence that you don't get from just skeletons or zombies. Easy enough to adapt their key abilities, the feasting attack, the transformation into 5e stat blocks, for a really memorable, creepy encounter.
So wrapping up, Feast of Goblyns really isn't just a dungeon crawl, is it?
Not at all. It's this intricate conspiracy.
Right.
The players are constantly manipulated, caught between a cunning wolfwere, a cerebral vampire, and this doomed priestess who's basically a vessel for an ancient necromancer. The stakes feel personal and cosmic all at once.
The tension just keeps ratcheting up.
And I think maybe the most profound horror it captures, a real takeaway thought here, is that in Ravenloft, sometimes the most heroic action you can take, like finally destroying Radaga's white form, can still lead to the absolute worst outcome if you do it the wrong way. Releasing Daegon is arguably worse than letting Radaga continue her reign of terror.
That choice, where even winning can mean losing, that's foundational Ravenloft horror right there. This module nailed it.
It really did.
So if you're listening and you're curious about where a lot of modern Ravenloft lore and atmosphere comes from, seriously, track down a copy of Feast of Goblyns. It is a wild, complex, and genuinely creepy ride.
Absolutely worth exploring. Well, thanks for joining us on this trip back to Kartakass and the chaos of the conjunction.
Yeah, thanks everyone. If you enjoyed our chat, please do all the usual things. Leave us some comments, like this discussion, subscribe if you hadn't, maybe share it with your D&D group, and definitely ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration.
Until next time.
We'll see you in the mists.